This is Artist on Record, your ultimate intimate conversation with your favorite artist. And in the hot seat, we have Dee Snider. Don't touch that dial.
I'm trying to explain for the viewers out there, if they knew about the East Coast, where we grew up, you know, Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, it was a world where you don't really see a lot of guys like that walking around in Guidoville, especially when you guys were playing when Twisted Sister came. That was like the height of Saturday Night Fever was out there.
Oh, yeah. Think about that.
Think about it. Right?
Was a thing. You know, the what do we call the Johnny Bravos, the Guidos, whatever you want to call
the Cousins,
and the Rockers. But that, you know, that became, like you said, it was a family. Yeah. And when you went to a place like Sonny, for the listeners, well, you know that, but it's the club was called L'Amour.
I always say it wrong. I know.
No, everybody says L'Amour's. You going to L'Amour's? And
there was two.
Dorchester called Detroit. And there was the Detroits. You going to Detroit's? I don't know. You go to Detroit. So, but when you went to L'Amour, you realize, hey, there's a lot of me. I'm not the only one. I'm feeling like it, but there's a couple thousand of them in some nights, you know, in the clubs. And I'm not alone. And that sort of built up a lot of people like yourself and made you feel stronger, less isolated. And by the way, we toppled the disco empire. It died a death. I remember they brought us in literally to rechristen the 2001 disco. And we smashed the mirrored ball on stage.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. They brought us in when they closed 2001 disco. They tried to make it a rock club. It didn't last. But they brought Twisted in to perform the what do you want to call it? Burial. But yeah. But we changed it, man. You changed it. Like I said, when you walked in that room, you said, "I'm not by myself.
You're not.
I got a family. I got a family."
I totally felt like that. I actually felt like the oddball because my hair was short and I was growing it out. I'm like, God, and Twisted Sister, for everybody watching back then, like 83, around 83, it was like a religion. You had people wearing your swag was just crazy. Everybody was wearing it. You know,
it was even further back than that. But you were there. But
I was
in the 70s. But look, we did a so there on Long Island there's a amusement park called Adventureland. Mm-hmm. They decided to have a summer concert series. The summer concert series would be a free concert, and they would get one of the local bands to play every Wednesday night. And they'd be between 300, 500 people. 800 was their big one. So they decided to get Twisted Sister. 23,000 people showed up. 1979.
Wow.
23,000. And Kiss was playing to half a house at the Garden, by the way. So thank God they were playing. It really would have been out of control if they were playing. So, but we were unsigned. But we were this, and it was a chance, for the first chance that like a lot of kids who were underage, I mean, really underage, because you used to be able to get in. I met my wife, who was 15 with phony proof. But, everybody could come see us. 23,000 to see an unsigned band.
Yeah.
And 25 years later, I contacted Adventureland. I said, what do you think about doing it again? 25th anniversary, Twisted Sister, Adventureland, free concert. They said, no, thank you, Dee. We're still cleaning up. That's what they said. We're still cleaning up from 25 years ago.
I got to ask you a question. I got to ask you, because you've been married forever. You just said your wife was 15. What did the family, when they met Dee Snider, they see a character? I don't know if you were just like this picture right there, but look at Twisted Sister right there. From back
she
then.
Made all those costumes. Suzette
did she really? She made those.
So you use the right words. Not in a second. So I meet Suzette. She's in a club, and a hot Italian. You know, I mean, there's a reason why in medieval times they were getting knocked up at 14 and 15. Romeo and Juliet, which is set in, is in Italians. And the mother says, Juliet, you're 14 years old. If you don't get married soon, you'll be an old maid. Okay, so my wife, I see her, and she's just, oh my God, she's just, Brooklyn Italian girls.
Yeah.
And I'm 21. So I meet her, and I'm like, you're not 18. How old are you? And she goes, guess. And I go, I don't know, 17. She goes, 15. I'm like, oh, because I am already up here. I'm gone. I've got to have this girl, and she's 15. So I asked her out a date. And she said, well, if you want to take me out, you're going to have to meet the family. Come over on Sunday. And I said, yeah, okay, I'm a good family. So I roll in, 6-inch pink platform shoes, big brown afro, pants so tight you can tell I'm circumcised. I come rolling in. And when she said, meet the family, I didn't realize she meant the family. Her family's in the mob. Her uncle's most notorious, Huey Apples, may he rest in peace, was the enforcer for the Persico crime family. So they sit me down, the Sopranos sit me down and have a talk with me. This is before I take her out. And it was this talk. They said, you lay one hand on our daughter, and this family will hunt you down to the 4 corners of the earth and put you in the bottom of a lake. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Now my brain goes, Snider, you've really gotten into it now because I'm still committed. I've got to have this girl. Meanwhile, by the way, my pants, skin tight pants, baby blue, I've got a dark blue stain spreading right around the crotch area after that speech from these gorillas. And I said, yes, sir, I understand what you're saying. And I said, okay. And they let me go out with her. They let me go on a date with her. Yeah. Hey, I mean, they put the fear of God in me. She said, why are you standing so far away from me? Well, she wasn't in the room. She didn't know till years later that they threatened to kill me on the first date. Dad, threatened to kill my baby. But hey, 47. I've been with her 47 years.
Wow.
And I think it was maybe 10 years ago that her dad finally started to like me.
That's funny.
47 years. But she did all the makeup, all the costumes, hair, the Bone logo. That was Suzette drew that. I had this idea for a Bone logo. I said, I need to bring something to show the art department. Can you give me a sketch? And she's a great artist. And she said, give me a piece of paper and a pen. And she was sitting there, I remember, clear as a bell. She just woke up. She's drinking her morning coffee. And 5 minutes, she does a sketch. She goes, something like this. And I said, yeah, that's the idea. That logo. This is what she drew in 5 minutes. And let me get the picture here. Where are you? 5 minutes. And it wound up on the album cover. I'm not getting in the frame here.
Yeah, hold back a little bit, D. Go back right there.
Yeah, I'm still off. Okay. Sorry, man.
Yeah, it's okay. I put you big, so go back a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. Perfect.
So, I mean, that exact thing on every T-shirt, every album cover, every backdrop, every poster, anything you've ever seen with a Bone logo was this drawing that she did in 5 minutes. Wow. That's it. It's to this day. And she never got a dime. She was like, they never paid me for it. But I just wanted I wanted them to do like I'm not saying this is bad. I just wanted, she said, if I knew it was going to be on the album, I would have spent 10 minutes on it. She was like, to this day, she's embarrassed by this because it was just like, like what you did. If I wrote a song and I just hummed it into a tape and said, yeah, something like this, and they recorded and put it out, and, I'd be mortified to this, she's like, she says, I can't believe, and they never paid me a dime.
That's a great.
So I got it hanging. It hangs in my studio. Yeah,
absolutely. That's great. That's the first one. That's an excellent. Wow. So maybe you know what? Maybe if she overthought it, it wouldn't have came out as cool as that. That's rock and roll.
Yeah, she was notorious for overworking things. She would like keep doing it over and over and over and over because she's such a perfectionist. So it probably would have been better. But I never would have got it in time. We're like, honey, they already released the record. They used the old logo. I'm still working on it. No.
So you knew right away when you met her, you knew she's the one. I'm marrying her, and that's it.
Look, there's something more was there. What was going on was 21-year-old guy saw a screaming hot Italian girl, and it was pure lust. I got to have this girl, but I know now. I mean, okay. So this girl that I see, and by the way, she came in to see the girl group. She borrowed her cousin's proof, and she came to hear there was a girl group playing, and she went to see Twisted Sister, the girl group. And it's funny, she's writing a book, and when I tell you her book, I am just an asterisk. When her people are pushing her to write because she's been through so much with alcoholism, drug addiction, not hers, family members, the mafia. Her brother was murdered. Her mother married a guy she went to high school with while she was in high school. Wow. Mother was hot. but I mean, it's just insane. And it's going to be like asterisk. Oh yeah, she married a guy in a band. That's because I'm like I'm the most minor event in her life. But I see this girl and I just fall head over heels, and I made it sound like she wanted to go out with me. She didn't. She was trying to get rid of me constantly. I was this big weird dude, But she turns out she has a desire that she wants to be a clothing designer. She wants to do hair, and she's fascinated with makeup. And this crash test dummy of a boyfriend wants to do his hair, makeup, and so she started making me costumes and helping with my makeup. She doesn't like to take credit because she'd say, "Why don't you do this with your eyes?" I go, "Well, I'll do it," and she goes like that. I go like that. She goes, "That's not what I was talking about, but whatever." And so, but this would go on with, and she made so many costumes for the band. It was crazy. Now the costume thing, and this would be interesting to your listeners, happened because, and by the way, she graduated at Fashion Institute of Technology. She's a licensed hairdresser. I mean, she's a professional makeup artist. Well, it's exactly what I needed for my career. She was behind me the entire time. I'm going, I want to do this. And she goes, well, let me help you do it better. And she kept always trying to help me do it better. But the clothes thing happened. She's coming to see me and play in one of the bars. And she says, "Oh, do you really like this top I had?" It was this one shoulder. I remember it like it was yesterday. Turquoise. It was like a knit and it was like fringy. It was so freaking hot. And she goes, "Do you really like it?" Because she was stacked, man. It was just like, oh, God. Remember tube tops? God, I love tube tops.
Yeah, I remember tube. Oh, yes.
God, tube tops. Anyway, so she says, "Do you really like that? Maybe I'll wear it again tonight." She said, walks into the club, looks up at the stage. I'm wearing the same top. The exact same top she has on. And she says, and I see her and I'm excited. I go, we're wearing our tops. I'm like, so pointing to mine and pointing to her. She's like, "Oh my God, he's wearing my same." I bound off the stage after the set. I'm like, you wearing your top. I got it too. She's like, "Oh my God, why did you buy my top?" And I said, "Remember I told you I love your top? Where'd you get your top?" She thought I meant on her. So that was the last straw. I'm not going to another club where my boyfriend is wearing what I'm wearing. So she started making me costumes. And it was some crazy shit, man. I remember Eddie O'Shea going, she would make me these shorty tops with feather boas. I was really into Rocky Horror and stockings and garters and Eddie would say, "Aren't you embarrassed wearing that?" I said, "She made it. I'm wearing it." And I was just, no matter what she made me, how crazy it was, one shoulder long sleeve. I said, it was just sequined and satin. I just pranced out on the stage and rocked.
That was the wonderful Dee Snider. And if you want to catch more of this episode, unedited, uncut, join our VIP All Access Patreon or become a member right here for $9.99 a month. Be a member. Be a part of the interviews, why we go live. Ask your favorite celebrity what they're up to right here. Until then, something cool is going to pop up here. Make sure you click on it, and we'll catch you all later. Remember, it's only rock and roll, and we like it. Who loves you, baby? We do.